If you've ever laid awake at night, wondering why she lost interest, why she stopped texting back, why you went from being her everything to being invisible, this message is for you. Because it's not about what you said, it's about what you allowed. And until you learn to set boundaries, you'll keep breaking your own heart just to keep someone else's attention. There's a reason she put you in the friend zone. And no, it's not because you're too nice. It's because somewhere along the line, you stopped being a man with boundaries and started acting like a man seeking approval. You want to know what really turns a woman on? It's not abs. It's not money. It's not flowers at her doorstep. It's the ability of a man to draw a line and say, "This is who I am, and I won't bend for validation." The men who get disrespected, they're always available, always agreeable, always waiting. But the men women want to fuck, they have rules. They protect their space, and they never negotiate their standards just to win someone's body. A woman's attraction isn't born out of how much you give. It's born out of how much you respect yourself. And nothing screams self-respect louder than the boundaries you set. The truth is, the more a woman sees you holding your line, the more she becomes curious, even aroused. You see, boundaries are not about being cold, rude, or arrogant. They're about self-control, clarity, and power. When a man knows what he stands for, he stops performing and starts leading. That shift alone is what separates the guy she leans on emotionally from the one she undresses for. Women test, not because they're evil, but because their biology is wired to seek out strength. They push to see if you'll bend, if you'll chase, if you'll fold, and every time you don't, they feel it deep in their gut, and often deep in their desire. When you start over-explaining, justifying your moves, or adjusting your pace to match hers, she may smile, she may play along, but somewhere in her mind, the respect begins to die. And where respect dies, attraction soon follows. That's why men who get sexually desired aren't always the richest, best-looking, or most charming. They're the ones who know the power of silence, the value of time, and the importance of saying no. She says she's busy again. You don't ask why. You move on. She takes hours to reply but is always online. You don't confront her. You match her energy. When you respond like a man who has options, she begins to wonder if she's losing hers. And that's when attraction shifts. Women aren't turned on by desperation. They're turned on by distance wrapped in confidence. They want to feel like they've earned your attention, not that you've handed it out like a free sample. When you stop dropping everything for her, when you no longer orbit her like a satellite, you force her to lean in, to think, to question. That psychological pressure builds heat, but it only works when it's backed by genuine self-worth, not manipulation. You don't do these things to trick her. You do them because you know who you are, with or without her. That's the line. That's the edge. And women feel it. When a woman feels like she can walk all over you, she may still keep you around, but not in the way you think. You become her emotional outlet, her safe backup, her platonic support system. She'll tell you everything, except the things she does with the man who doesn't text back right away. That's the brutal truth. But when you start holding boundaries, you remove yourself from that role entirely. You tell the world, "I'm not available to be half chosen, half loved, or half respected." That energy is magnetic. It either repels the wrong women or pulls the right ones in closer than ever. She wants to feel your masculinity not through control or dominance, but through certainty, through the way you handle her disrespect with calm detachment, through the way you walk away without a scene, through the way you protect your time, energy, and attention like they're sacred. And they are. Because when you treat them as sacred, she starts treating you the same way. She'll no longer see you as just another guy trying to impress her. She'll see you as a man she doesn't want to lose. And that's when the dynamic flips. That's when she starts dressing up just to see you. That's when her messages become faster, her tone softer, her body more open. And all you had to do was draw the line. The moment you make your boundaries clear, everything changes. Women sense it. They feel the shift in your energy. You're no longer the man chasing their approval. You become the man they need to earn. And that shift doesn't just create respect, it builds desire. Because nothing draws a woman in more than a man who doesn't hesitate to protect his space, his time, and his dignity. You see, boundaries aren't about rejection, they're about selection. You're not pushing her away, you're inviting her into a space that demands something real. When you set a standard and stick to it, she sees you differently. She might test you at first, but if you hold the line, you'll notice something powerful. Her tone changes, her effort increases, and her eyes linger a little longer when she looks at you. Too many men try to buy her attention with availability. They show up when she calls, reply within seconds, rearrange their schedule just to be near her. They think being always there proves how much they care. But what it really shows is how little they value themselves. Because a man who is grounded knows that being too accessible lowers his worth. Mystery dies when you're always around, and without mystery, desire fades. The man she craves isn't the one who runs to her. It's the one who walks his path, unbothered if she joins or not. That's not arrogance, that's power. And women can't resist it. One of the deepest mistakes a man can make is tolerating disrespect in the name of attraction. Laughing off her sarcasm, ignoring the flakes, pretending it doesn't hurt when she keeps you on the back burner. All of that silence, all of that smiling through disrespect, she sees it. And every time you let it slide, she loses a little more respect for you. She might not say it out loud, but inside, she's pulling back. Because if you won't stand up for yourself, how can she ever feel safe enough to surrender to you? Women respect men who respect themselves. And self-respect is loudest in silence. When you stop engaging with energy that drains you. When you draw the line, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most men are too afraid to lose her, so they compromise, they chase, they stay silent. But you walk away when it's time. You don't explain, you don't beg. You let your absence speak. And it does, loudly. That silence forces her to reflect, to question, to feel. And in that space, the dynamics shift. She starts to remember your value. She realizes you're not like the others. And suddenly, you're not the one texting first. She is. She starts watching your stories more, starts asking where you've been, starts getting jealous of girls you're not even paying attention to. That's not manipulation. That's nature. Women are emotionally wired to seek security in a man. And security doesn't come from words. It comes from consistency, from boundaries, from presence that isn't easily won. When she sees you're not moved by her games, her energy recalibrates. She stops testing you, starts choosing you, starts admiring you, and eventually she starts craving you. The friend zone isn't a space, it's a result of giving without demand, of showing up without return. of silencing your truth to avoid rocking the boat. But women don't crave men who make them comfortable. They crave men who challenge them, who lead them, who are unafraid to say, "This is how I move. Join me or lose me." That energy is unforgettable. It lingers in her mind, in her body, in the way she speaks about you to her friends. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who knows his worth and doesn't need to prove it. A man who respects himself so much that she has no choice but to match it. The moment you stop trying to impress her is the moment she starts noticing you, noticing your silence, noticing your control, noticing that you're not like the rest. Most men believe that doing more equals getting more. More attention, more affection, more desire. But the truth is, the more you chase, the less you're valued. Women don't crave a man who bends for them. They crave a man who stands firm. Even when they flirt, even when they tease, even when they test. That's where the respect is born. Not in the gestures, not in the gifts, but in your unshakable presence. The way you say no without guilt. The way you don't justify your boundaries. The way you hold your frame when she tries to pull you out of it. It's in that calm defiance that desire is ignited. Because deep down, she wants to feel like she's in the presence of a man she can't control. A man who makes her feel something she can't explain. That thrill, that mystery, that tension, it's all built through boundaries. And it's destroyed the moment you let her treat you however she pleases. The man who gets disrespected is the man who tolerates too much. He laughs at insults. He forgives too quickly. He acts like it's no big deal, hoping she'll see his kindness as strength. But she doesn't. She sees it as weakness, as desperation, as a lack of backbone. And no woman wants to sleep with a man she feels superior to. She wants to feel safe, but not the kind of safe that comes from predictability. She wants emotional safety, yes, but she also wants polarity. She wants to feel your masculine edge, the edge that says, "I won't stay if you play." The edge that doesn't need her validation to feel complete. When you hold that energy, she leans in, not because you ask, but because she can't help it. Because her nature responds to strength. And the purest form of strength is self-control. It's in your ability to walk away, to stay grounded when she gets emotional, to pause instead of react. That's the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, he challenges them. And in that challenge, they feel alive. You don't win her over by proving your worth. You win her over by living it, by being the kind of man who never begs, who doesn't trade self-respect for attention, who understands that the more he gives away his boundaries, the more he loses himself. You can't lead her if you're trying to be led. You can't inspire her if you're constantly adjusting just to keep her happy. That's not love. That's performance. And the truth is, she doesn't want a performer. She wants a presence. A grounded, solid, unshakable presence that can't be moved by her moods or her games. When she sees that you're not playing to win her, but living by your code, something shifts. She starts seeing you as rare, as different, as valuable. She might resist at first. She might test harder. But if you stay consistent, she'll melt. Not because you forced her to, but because your energy gave her no other option. That's the power of masculine boundaries. They don't restrict, they liberate. They create the structure where real intimacy can thrive. They turn you from just another guy into the man she can't stop thinking about. And when you become that man, everything changes. Not just how she treats you, but how she feels about you. Because respect isn't just mental, it's emotional, it's physical, it's primal. And it all begins when you finally decide that your boundaries are non-negotiable. A woman can feel it the moment you stop simping. The moment you stop being too available, too agreeable, too desperate to be liked. It's like a switch flips inside her. Suddenly, she pays attention. She looks twice. She listens closer. And it's not because you became someone else. It's because you returned to yourself. That version of you that doesn't try to earn her interest, but stands in the certainty of your own worth. That version doesn't chase. He moves with intention. And if she can't match that energy, he doesn't try to convince her. He simply walks away. That's the version that commands not just attention, but respect. And once you have her respect, everything else changes. Her tone, her touch, her attitude. Because now she's dealing with a man, not a boy seeking approval. Women are intuitive. They can smell weakness long before you speak it. They can feel when you're unsure, when you're people-pleasing, when you're hoping to be chosen instead of knowing you are the prize. And when that happens, they may smile, they may be polite, but they'll never be fully open. Because feminine energy doesn't open to weakness. It opens to strength. And strength isn't loud. It doesn't need to impress. It doesn't need to flex. It just is. A quiet, unshakable confidence that shows up in how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you respond when she tests you. Because she will test you. She'll pull back. She'll ignore your texts. She'll flirt with another guy in front of you. Not to hurt you, but to feel your energy. To see if you're going to react or remain calm. To see if you're built for the emotional storm she naturally brings. When you fold, when you panic, when you start overcompensating, that's when the respect dies. That's when she starts seeing you as one of the many. But when you stay composed, when you protect your energy, when you don't chase validation, that's when she begins to feel the shift. She can't explain it, but her body responds. Her attraction grows, her desire deepens, because now she's looking at a man who doesn't just want her, he values himself enough not to need her. That's a different kind of power, the kind that can't be faked, the kind that doesn't come from game playing, but from true self-awareness. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If she cancels last minute and you're still available next time, you've taught her that your time means nothing. If she ignores your calls and you keep calling, you've taught her that your attention is free. If she disrespects you and you laugh it off, you've taught her that she can keep doing it. But the moment you stop tolerating nonsense is the moment you shift the energy. You no longer operate from fear of losing her. You operate from belief in your own value. And that belief is magnetic. It creates an energy around you that forces people to level up or leave. And when it comes to women, most will choose to level up if you give them a reason. That reason isn't found in your words. It's found in your boundaries, in your ability to say no without guilt, to say this is what I accept without explanation, to remove yourself from games instead of trying to win them. That's what women remember. Not the guy who gave them everything, but the one who made them earn it. Not the one who always said yes, but the one who meant it when he said no. That's the man she respects. That's the man she desires. That's the man she dreams about long after you've gone quiet. Because nothing is more attractive than a man who values his peace over her attention. And once you become that man, you stop getting friend-zoned, you stop being a backup plan, you become the main event, the one she wants to undress for, not just vent to. All because you chose to draw the line and never erase it for anyone. So don't lower your standards to keep her around. Raise your energy and let your boundaries speak. Because the moment you stop begging to be chosen is the moment you start becoming unforgettable. Respect starts with you. And when you truly honor yourself, she won't just notice, she'll follow.